How de facto, pterodactyl when I'm micro and macro my mind. Why would I try to hide the fact that I'm jacked to be actually naturally high? And I'm that guy with the flashlight, looking back at the track with the black light. How about this?
Alright guys, Ian and Stu from Central Coast Disc Golf, and we're back with a little more 2015 Worlds. We have Round 6, League Card Part 2. And Stu.
Ian.
Let's watch some disc golf.
Ready.
Cool. Alright guys, we're back out at beautiful Moraine State Park. Paul Macbeth has a 9-stroke lead over Ricky Wysocki. Will Schustrick is 5 back of that, and Nico is 2 back of that. And we're starting off Part 2 on hole 15. Signature hole at it here at Moraine State Park. 852-foot par 4, very downhill. This is kind of where your tee shots land. You can see the basket down there in the flats. There is OB off to the right. It doesn't usually come into place, too.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the OB off the tee on the left seems to be what they shy away from, and then after that, it's kind of like routine.
Yeah, you can see our pretty huge gallery we had up there watching the round. Pretty cool.
It's hard to navigate sometimes.
Yeah, it was for you, especially with the second cam. Rick has the box, ripping out a mild hyzer, and pipe it right down the middle. Big skip.
Quite the skip he got the other day.
Yeah, with the epic roll down the hill. Don't get that every day. Will Schustrick, second on the box, ripping out a bigger hyzer line. Looking to land a similar spot, but clipped a tree. And he's going rolling, Stu.
It only happened a couple times, but you'd think it would happen more often like that.
Yeah.
And testing the OB, right?
Yeah, he just stayed in bounds. There's a canopy where he is, which could be interesting. We'll see what he's got for a second shot. Nico LaCastro up third. Also taking the big hyzer line.
Seems like they weren't sure if how high the wind was going to take their discs there.
Yeah, there's kind of some interesting headwind on this hole. And Paul Macbeth, fourth, after carding the lone par in the last hole. Ripping out his Star Destroyer on a very big hyzer line. And that's spiking in pretty nicely.
Yeah. I like be able to see the basket from there.
Yeah, for sure. Nico LaCastro with a second shot. Throwing another hyzer at it.
This would be one of those holes where, in my head, I would play it amazing and it would be awesome. Yeah. But I would never do that.
These guys make it look a lot easier than it is. We're looking at Paul's second shot. I think another Star Destroyer, it looks like. It's tracking nicely. Getting some world champ skips.
And Rick has the cleanest approach.
Yeah, the straightest look at it, but he's kind of got that tree in the way for the hyzer line. So he's taking a more mild approach at it. And did you get the headwind here, Stu?
I don't know, but he was not making any fans with that shot.
No, he finished about 80, 90 feet right. Really far out there. And Will, he actually has a gap in the canopy here, Stu.
I could only see that from where I was, but if you would have paid me $100 on a bet, I would not have said Will would be closer than Ricky after those drives.
Yeah, right, exactly. So here's Rick from, looks to be about 65, 70.
Oh!
Well, apparently that went in. What the heck? Other than Macbeth, he cans the most longest ridiculous putts on a regular basis. Pretty incredible. Will to match Ricky. No worries with that one. And McBeast, this is it's going in all day. Just anything inside the circle, it just goes in, you know?
Yeah. You need one of those new baskets that have the tiny chains.
Yeah. I think he'd still make most of his putts anyway.
Yeah, it'd just be bad for everyone else.
Exactly. You just win by more. On to Nico, also caught in a birdie. Little star frame on that one. Pretty nice. We're on to hole 16, guys. Par 5, 645. That's a really tough par 5, even for a 645-foot hole. Got to throw through this gap and then up the hill. And then once you're up to the top of the hill, you got to kind of angle left a little bit and weave through all these trees, too. Look at that.
It's like 2 super lucky shots to get even remotely close to the basket.
Yep. And there
not really a power issue for them.
Yeah, exactly. So there you can see the basket, and it's actually on the edge of a little bit of a hill, cliff style. So you can blow it and pass it, can happen, and it'll punish you. Rick laying down a roller. I like the
I
shot.
like that. I like it. Gets
Yeah.
past most of the crap at the beginning, and
And you want to finish right on the right side of the fairway if you're gonna finish right or left.
definitely a better look.
Will Schustrick busting out his paper plate.
Yep.
Yep.
Which I've found through my trials that a paper bowl is actually a bit more stable than a paper plate.
Nice, dude. Look at
So
that shot
might
from
be
Will.
it.
That was unreal.
That was about the furthest I saw anyone get.
Yeah.
I think.
Let's see if Nico can best that. He's got a mean roller game. Also throwing a paper plate, but didn't flip that one over,
I don't know
Stu.
what gateways.
Yeah. Nico's throwing all kinds of mixed bags, though. That might not have been gateway. And Paul, it looks like he's going to opt for the backhand air shot with a Star Destroyer. And wow. I don't know.
I thought maybe he was trying to beat it in.
Yeah,
but
right.
Didn't hit anything.
I don't think you could do much better with an air shot. Nico's second shot gets out of trouble pretty well. That was solid.
Probably a little disappointed after his almost eagle his almost double eagle.
Yeah. Rick throwing a forehand roller. Was that his felons too?
Yeah, I think that was pink felon. He threw that for a lot of shots.
Yeah, he
like
did.
for how stable it is, it seemed like he was using it all the time.
Yeah. Got up there a ways, but hit an early-ish tree. Paul's ripping out his Thunderbird on his second shot, and just straight peered it.
Shot.
Wow.
That's nice.
He's gonna be putting for eagles too.
Which is super impressive. I mean, I was just, like you said, trying to jockey for position and didn't get to see how cool a lot of those shots were that he was throwing.
Yeah. Will hit an early tree on his second shot. Not what he was trying to do. Looking to get up and down to save his birdie, and should be able to do that with that upshot.
It was kind of part of Will's story this tournament, maybe like
Yeah.
really, really good drives and just pretty mediocre upshots.
Yeah, you're right. Looking at Nico's third.
Oh my
Ooh,
god.
hung it out wide.
What the fuck is that?
He's looking to get up and down to save his par. This is going to be Rick for eagle, but it's a dangerous
Long
run.
eagle.
Yeah, and it's really long. But that looks like a drop-in birdie. Nico for birdie, but probably playing smart there. And McBeast for eagles, too.
Just to add a little layer of,
Wow.
I don't know, cushion.
Yeah, there it is. Getting some more strokes, man. Gotta love it. Gallery approves. And Paul isn't the only one getting punked. Will got punked right there too, but regains his composure and cards the birdie. Like to see him make the putt after that, you know.
Yeah.
And Nico making his par, and Rick a little drop in birdie. And there's Paul with that eagle, taking that lead out to 10.
And after, it's a 19-stroke swing in the last two rounds, right?
Yeah, bananas.
Bananas.
Absolutely bananas. This is hole 17. This is looking from a short tee pad, actually. It's a dog leg right. There you can see the basket. It gets really jelly towards the basket. Kind of got to get lucky to get super close. Skilly to get kind of close. And this is looking back towards the tee from the basket. Paul Macbeth busting out his Champ Mako 3 on an Annie line.
It is hard to keep the ante low enough but have it enough height to flex back out to
Yeah.
flat.
Yeah, he got that cut roll, which does happen, like you're talking about. But got kind of a lucky tree kick. Rick going to that felon again.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. That's a good make for him. This could be a birdie. And Will, backhand off to the right. Gotta think this is going to be a roller. Yeah,
Did he threw a forehand a couple of rounds, didn't he?
I believe so.
Oh, caught a tree.
Yeah, but that's still...
It's closer than Ricky's.
I don't know how that happened, but it did. And Nico busting out the rear forehand on the tight inside line. That's going to play.
For a guy who doesn't throw it a lot under championship pressure, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
This is Stuart Mullenberg,
Oh.
creator of the flight record.
Behind the flight record.
And here's Nico for his birdie. All tournament long, Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have 15 or 20 of those, and then you're not in the lead anymore.
Yep. Paul missed a putt.
He doesn't need to make them anymore.
It was pretty far away, too. We'll give that. Rick gets a stroke on Paul, taking that lead back to 9. And Will looking to match Ricky. There we go. Nice birdies from Will and Rick. And Paul and Nico, some pars. One they're trying to get though. It's a shorty.
Yeah, for them, I would guess.
Yeah.
But no, it is a pretty tight line, and like you said, J-lay basket.
Yep. So we are on to hole 18, which is 465 feet, not 4,652 feet. And it is dead straight, and there's 2 OB traps. There's a creek about halfway up, which you can see right here. And then there's a little more inbounds area, and then there's another creek, which is just short of the basket. This is still the first creek. And here is the second creek. There's a little bit of OB straight down the middle, but left and right of that path are OB. And if you throw OB on your drive, you're throwing from the drop zone no matter what OB you land in. Rick is throwing a beautiful hyzer flip that is just tracking. Oh, settle.
Oh.
That was a beautiful drive, but
I really wanted that to be in, that because I didn't see anyone get all the way to the basket.
no, I didn't either. He got a red flag, even though you might not have seen it right there. Will pumping it up the middle, it's turning a little too much.
It's just hard to judge.
It really is. So I believe that one kicked OB as well. And McBeast is going for it. Hyzer flip with his flippy Star Destroyer. Way up high.
Wait, Flippy,
Yep.
come back.
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
Oh, no. Also OB. So even though
There's
you're
a-
OB up there, you're thrown way back at the drop zone, which really penalizes you from hitting that OB. Nico. That's a nice shot, Stu.
Oh. Got some help with that tree, maybe.
Yeah, he did. Rick throwing from the drop zone, busting out the forehand. Uh-oh. Ooh, that's going to be close, Stu. Awesome Flag Girls checking it out for us.
Yeah, Rick and this hole did not get along.
No,
This tournament.
not so much. So Rick is inbounds. His disc is literally like underneath the rope. Paul's second shot, throwing a hyzer flip with a McPro Rock 3. And that was pretty, Stu.
Yeah, that was. I don't even. Can you even see the basket from down there?
I don't think so. Yeah, because it's kind of below the hill a little bit. Oh, so it looks like Will did stay in bounds, actually. It's going to be his second shot.
Oh.
Almost carded that. It's a good thing I didn't go in because that guy blocked my view. And this is going to be Nico for an eagle.
We didn't see any, right?
Nope, I did not. So Will, comebacker for a 3. But he's putting right at the OB, Stu. But it doesn't really matter.
Worries.
Yep, when it goes in like that. Ricky took his meter in. There you can see his disc. You had to like really get right on top of it to tell if it was in bounds or not. And Nico, just a little drop-in birdie.
We saw a lot of interesting plays on this hole. People even laying up before the first creek on some occasions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when you kind of have to think about your game and see how it plays to your strengths and attack it, how it best serves you. So we're wrapping around to hole 1. Paul's lead still 9. It's 336 feet. Pretty much dead straight with a slight right finish, and there is OB off to the right, Stu. If you kick too far.
Like a tiny little creekish.
Yeah.
thing.
This is one of the ones that you and I got to play, and
Did not go well.
it looks so much easier when they're playing it, man. I was like, oh, I could totally birdie this one.
We struggle for 4s, I think.
Yeah. I did not have my full bag as a disclaimer, but
So we played it all with one disc.
yeah. So Will kicked left early, not what you're trying to do. Nico looking to correct off that. Also throwing a hyzer flip, that's not turning, Stu. So,
Yeah.
this hole's tough. Rick throwing a hyzer flip forehand, but leaking high.
Real high.
Yeah.
He threw some great ones in practice that were pin high right.
Yeah, he did. And McBeast has that. I believe that's a T-bird. Just a beautiful
Yes.
hyzer flip to straight. He just did this
Birdie
like
bird.
every round, right?
Yeah, he did. I think 3 times or just twice.
I believe 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah. Nico just laying up for a smart par. Rick for birdie, probably about 60 out though.
I think he's just running everything. He's going for aces and
Yeah. He's down by 9, but he also has like a 5-stroke lead on 3rd place or something like that.
yeah, I didn't look at the last card there.
Yeah, me either. Will for birdie, not so much, and Paul to get another stroke on the card, and probably at least.
So this is where
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is where the guy tried to put the GoPro on the basket.
Oh, really? And someone's like, "Don't do that."
Yeah.
So it's kind of ridiculous. Ricky makes his par. Will is gonna make this par. Good job. Proving me right. And Nico just has a little drop in for his par. Paul's lead. Back to 10.
Yeah, I'm certain Paul played that hole the best if you average out the scores all week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He two'd it
Yep.
every time, or maybe 3-3, 3-2-2. I don't know.
Yeah. So it looks like Rick does have a 4-stroke lead over Will for second place. We're on hole 2, 441 par 4. That little creek right there is OB. You throw in flat and then very uphill for your second shot. Paul Macbeth has a Thunderbird in his hands.
Always so hard to tell on the camera how uphill it is.
Yeah, yeah. That second shot is a severely uphill shot. There's a Stuart Mullenberg right there taking some pictures. And Will looks like a mid or a putter.
Something just to lay up in the middle of the gap, maybe.
Yeah, looks like a mid. And hit a stick, kind of stopped him a little shorter than he wanted, but not too bad. And Nico throwing a hyzer flip. Ooh, that was. Oh. Oh my goodness.
That got stable.
Yeah, dude, that thing is way over there. And Ricky also throwing a hyzer flip that's not flipping enough, and he finishes left. And Stu, how was it over there on the left-hand side, buddy?
I can tell you, left is not good.
And it was not awesome. So this is Nico's second shot. And here's the gap. The crowd was super stoked, and Paul comes over. He's like, "Dude, that gap was huge." And Will's second shot, just throwing a nice hyzer at it. That should be a pretty easy putt. And Rick from the left, and
You have to do such crazy things to even get remotely close to the basket.
yeah, that was a pretty sick forehand Annie. Paul looks like he's got a rock 3. That's tracking right towards the bucket. Beautiful shot. And Rick finished pin high right. It's going to be for a 3. A birdie. Huh.
Oh, was it basket ejected or something?
Something like that. Metal Knight, I got nothing. Nico, a nice birdie putt. Paul finished a tiny bit long. Making that comebacker for a birdie.
There is OB right there on the other side of the basket, too.
This is true, yeah.
I mean, not that he seemed to care, but
No. When you know the disc is going to the basket, you don't worry about that. And Will makes birdie, and Rick dropped in a par. And his lead is now, or sorry, Paul's lead is now 11. Rick's lead is down to 3 over Will. And we're into hole 3, 243, par 3. You can see that little OB kind of area right before the basket is the toughest element of this hole. And those trees on the right were tough for you and me, Stu.
yeah, there made other tough elements if we played it.
Yeah, we did. Oh, I chundered this hole so hard. Paul has the box throwing a McPro Rock 3 on a little Annie line.
I swear we were like, how can they not birdie this every time?
Yeah, right. And then chunder. Paul goes just past the basket. That's going to be a birdie. Will, looks like that's a putter or a mid.
Looks like it's nice. Oh,
Ace run in that thing.
yeah.
Nico
Do
up.
that little kick step thing.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting, right? Nico throwing an Annie. I don't think he's going to get any fade. But that was a good spot to finish.
Yeah, just moving the crowd back a bit.
Yep, and it kicked out pretty nicely. Rick also going to finish right, but also long. That's going to be an interesting putt right at the OB circle. Nico for a 2. from about 25, 30. Ooh, another nose down putt, Stu.
I don't know. I mean, he straddles. It's out of my element. I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah, it's definitely not my bag either.
comprehend it.
Yeah. Will was putting right at OB, but can the birdie regardless. And this is Ricky also putting at OB from the bushes.
Oh, so awkward.
He is really good at awkward putts, man. You know, he's made
Which, that's a good thing to have in disc golf.
Oh, absolutely. Because, you know, you probably don't practice them as much as you should, but Rick makes them. Paul made his birdie, and Nico's going to tap in the lone par here. That was Terry Roddy filming for Disc Golf Planet right there. And we are on to hole 4, guys. 385-foot par 4. Off the tee, you're going flat and then uphill, and your second shot is through a bunch of trees with a slight left finish. This tee shot's tough, Stu.
Yeah, it's all like the tee shot from
16.
16.
Yeah, it is actually. And there you can see the basket. And Paul has the box, as Paul does. And I believe that's a T-bird.
Air shotting it again.
Yeah. And you do want to finish farther right than left if possible. There's kind of some rough off to the left.
There's definitely more gaps on this hole, though, that you can hit to the basket.
Very true. Nice drive from Shoestrick as well. And Rick throwing the forehand. Get down. Not that fast, though. That's going to be a tough shot from there.
Probably some roller magic or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Nico throwing the hyzer flip, but didn't get quite the turn he was hoping for. Almost got you, Stu.
Got to be nimble out there.
You do, man. You do. I almost got killed last year's World, so I know that feeling. Doss almost got me. The Rick busted out an Annie forehand that looked nice until it hit that tree. And this is going to be Rick's third shot, looking to get up and down to save his par. Skipped a little long. Yeah, I should be able to make that putt, though. There's Supreme Flight. John, Paul's caddy. Super nice guy. And Paul, I was talking to him about this. He's like, I was like, he landed in the same exact spot all 3 rounds. He's like, I know. And I threw the Nova all 3 times and parked it all 3 times. And that's what he did.
I mean, I feel like the Nova doesn't have a lot of traction in the amateur world, but he throws it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, seems like he has at least a couple holes every round that he throws it.
Yeah, it just flies dead straight for him. And parks a lot of shots with it. Speaking of park jobs, though, that was a beautiful forehand Annie from Nico.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
And Will finished a little bit left, but still should be puttable. And it's going to be Ricky to save his par. Nice work there. Will for a birdie.
You got to think now they probably just feel they're racing for second, third, fourth place finishes.
Yeah. There was not a lot of wind in those first place sails. And Paul carded another birdie, as Paul does. Along with Nico after a really tremendous second shot.
Yeah, it's like I always say, it's nice not to have to putt.
It is, isn't it? Save that stress for some other hole.
Yeah, or go home and save it for when you have to figure out what you're going to eat later.
There you go. So Paul's still crushing it pretty good, and we are on to the last hole, guys. Hole 5, 261. This is a dogleg right. You're going to see a lot of forehands. Now this is a look from the tee, and this is a look back towards the tee from the basket. It's a shorty, so they're going to want to get this one.
Probably the most spectator-friendly hole out there.
Yeah, it's true, huh? Kind of just hang off to the left right there, like they are doing.
There's lots of room and
yeah,
no chance of people getting smacked with discs like happened all week.
Yeah, that's always nice. And Paul threw the Star Destroyer pretty close. Will looking to match that shot. That'll play.
Also pretty good. Yeah. Will's forehand always looking better.
It is, isn't it? Nico also busting out the forehand. I believe that's an enforcer. But don't quote me on that one.
Oh. Him and Rick both using that all week.
Yeah. Good overstable disc. Kind of flies like a new destroyer for me. New pop top one anyway. Rick throwing the forehand with that felon. Comes a little short though, which you wouldn't think for a Ricky Wysocki forehand.
I wanted him to just make it.
Yeah, yeah, right. Ricky for a 2. That's another nice putt from Rick.
He has a really interesting putt delivery. His has an abbreviated follow through. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's because he's like snapping it.
it's interesting. Nico needs this to tie Steve Brinster to get into the final 9. He didn't do that though.
No.
No. Paul to card another birdie. This is gonna be for a 13 down on the round, which is pretty silly.
Houston.
Yeah. Considering the course record was 11.
It's hard to catch somebody when they're shooting course records.
Yeah. So that would have been a course record if you didn't break it the day before. Gotta love it. Will cleans up his par, and that is the rankings. Aside from the top 4, the top 4 are gonna play a final 9, so I don't want to spoil that for you. But Nico finished 5th. Rika got 6th. Our buddy Yuli getting 7th along with Simon. Yeah. There's MJ.
I wonder how many people had the lead. Paul had it at one point, right?
Yep.
And Schustrick had it at one point.
Uh-huh.
Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know if Rick ever had it. I don't think so.
It was competitive and good showing until
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Until McBeast mode was activated.
Yeah.
Yep. But cool guys. I think that's all I got for Worlds right now. We still have some more Worlds videos. We got Avery, Ricky, Yuli, and Proctor around from Slippery Rock. We got some FPO round 1 stuff. We got Simon's first round with Shasta and Bobby Music. I want to say something, right, Stu?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then but I think I'm gonna skip ahead and start editing some Rocky Mountain Disc Golf Championships. Kind of spice it up a little bit. And Corey, our new CCDG member, is hard at work editing the SF Safari footage. I think he's actually made some pretty good progress on that, so it should be out sooner than later. And
Get us back on track with current events, Ian.
yeah, I think I'm trying, man. We have so much footage, it's ridiculous. End of the month, I'm pretty sure. Actually, not end of the month. In October, from about a month from now, I'm gonna go film the Coyote Classic. Pretty sure. And then I got a local tournament up on the Central Coast a week after that, out at Castoro Cellars in Highland Park. If you're on the Central Coast, go play that tournament. Make the league card. I'll film you. 2 really cool courses. One's on a winery, Stu.
Oh, well, I'm coming to play it then.
Yeah, that place is awesome. It's $5. You get a round and a tasting after your round.
That's a steal. Is it in Napa?
Yeah. Nah, it's in the Central Coast, man. There's like 250
Oh, wow.
wineries on the Central Coast, man. It's an up and coming wine country, Stu.
Yes, those tastings are always a bit cheaper,
Yeah, they are.
but
It's
just
true.
as good.
Cool, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. Stu, you're awesome. Thanks, man.
Yep, Worlds was great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Worlds footage.
Yeah, Stu and I put in like 5 18-hour days. So hope you enjoyed the footage. We had fun bringing it to you, and we'll catch you guys around. Thanks for watching.
Later.
Carne asada fries.
What?
You guys don't have those in Texas?
I mean, we have steak fries, but we don't call them carne asada fries. Like
No.
they have steak on them?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I've never heard of those.
Yeah, it's basically like nachos, but on French fries instead of chips.
It's like poutine.
Yeah, but it's like Mexican poutine.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, dude. I don't think they have it in Texas, honestly. Actually, it's not even like a California thing. It's like a San Diego thing.
Carne asada fries. Or I'll just make it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we also have the California burrito in San Diego.
Oh, there's a place. When I type that in, the closest place is in Carrollton. It's called San Diego Tacos.
There you go, buddy. That's awesome. See, I'm not a liar, Stu. I don't care what you say.